What's up, guys? Just reaching out now that we've been in quarantine for so long and we're kind of going through these repetitive movements and doing things over and over, and depending on your ability, you're kind of stuck to modify things and just it's getting stale. So what I wanted to do was talk about two movements that you can practice at home. They're two movements that a lot of us have struggled with at some point in our CrossFit careers, and they should be simple. So I want to try and make it as easy as possible for you to learn them, especially now that we have nothing else to do but learn some of the things that we always talk about. So the first is double unders. The most important part here would be actually owning a jump rope. All right, if you don't have your own, so if a lot of us come to the gym, we borrow one off there. All right, it messes it up because there's a lot of varying degrees to the length, things that could alter, how we properly do it. So buy your own is my biggest suggestion. All right, you want to leave it a little bit longer at first because that gives you room to actually grow and cut it down as you get better. But to start off with a really short rope is going to make it a little bit more difficult. So leave it a little bit longer. Step with 1 foot. You're going to pull the rope up. It should be somewhere around your nipple line, to be honest, but this one's new for me, so I left it a little bit longer. All right, but the end of the rope should be somewhere in this general area. All right, that would be the first part. Two things that I always see, and I was guilty of it when I started. I even feel it once I got used to what it should feel like to properly do a double under, is that when we get excited, we tend to pull our shoulders up and bring our hands with us and try to bring that rope, and that ends up shortening the length of the rope, and we catch it on our feet, and that screws up the whole flow of it. All right, so one thing is just burying those hands down by our hips and keeping them there. All right, the other thing is we also tend to get excited and widen our hands, and again, now the rope has become shorter as I'm out here. So if you're somebody that does struggle with that, you can grab a knee sleeve, a t-shirt, something, all right, just put it under your armpit, and then you'd have one on each side. That'll keep you pulling those elbows in towards the body. Really easy. Terrible demonstration, but I thought I was gonna hit my rings. All right, so that's something to look for if you know that. The other thing, all right, is our feet. All right, what I see is a lot of people either do the dolphin kick, or we bring our heels up to our butt. All right, your feet shouldn't change. They should be ready to just come up and down and bounce off of our toes. All right, so it's still a smaller jump, just like we're doing singles. All right, and then our wrists are doing all that work. All right, so this is something, double unders. Again, a lot of us say, I'm gonna work on it, and then we don't do it until it shows up in the Metcon again. All right, so take this time to really focus on it. If you want, please send us a video. You can send myself or any of the other coaches a video of you doing it, and we can try and break it down and see where maybe some of those common flaws are showing up in your movement. All right, let's switch over to handstand push-ups. So that's, again, a little bit more difficult, but it's something we've been doing burpees, push-ups over and over. It could be a variance that we can throw in. So if you have space to work on those, there's a couple things we could do depending on where you're at with it. So if you're still not there strength-wise, all right, one thing you could do would be just kick up to the wall, and then we're just going to focus on a nice slow negative down, drop off, and then we'll kick back up and continue to do that. I would say 8 to 10 times, maybe 3 sets. All right, and that nice slow negative will eventually help build the strength we need to do the handstand push-up. Another thing that you can do, depending on where you're at, to make it more difficult, and this helps with handstand walks as well, would be shoulder taps. All right, and you gotta be pretty quick. So this is one of the more challenging variances you could do. Something else, the last thing I'll leave you with, you don't need a box. All right, I have a box, so I'm gonna utilize that. But a box, a bench, whether it's an exercise weight bench or anything like a chair, a sofa at your house. All right, you're going to put your feet up, and the goal, you can use your feet, or you can walk all the way into your knees. The goal is to have pretty much your shoulders in line with your hips, and then we're just going to go down and do those push-ups. All right, the higher the object, all right, and the more in line your hips and shoulders are, all right, that's putting more body weight on and making it more difficult. So you can build that height up, all right, and allow more body weight to load onto your shoulders, all right, you'll start progressing, hopefully. All right, if you have any questions, you need anything, feel free to reach out. Look forward to seeing you guys.